Wonderful Tuesday for everyone. This is Nick. I'm joined by Jamons or Justin. It's his first time out here. Hey Justin, thanks for joining me. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, not a problem, Nick. Not a problem, Nick.
Nice. This is the Midnight Broadcasting Network and the PRCS uh, league race, the Alabama 500 at Talladega Superspeedway. We're gonna have a good time, man. It looks like they have qualified so far. Looks like the two car of AJ, three of Saab Max, six BC Racer Kid, 10 a Gallon, 11 a Celtics fan, 12 a Big Destroyer, 14 a Smoke, 17 a Fluffy, New World Order in the 18, and 19 car is Bags. The 21 is gonna be Marcus. He's filling in for Slade. Thank you, Marcus. The 22 of Diesel, 42 of DWH, who had a wonderful showing last week, and 47 of Rowdy, and the 88 of WVU, or Jason. How do you feel about qualifying at Talladega? You got a long race. Does qualifying matter to you, Jason?
Uh,
Or Justin?
qualifying does matter as far as being able to stay up front and just keeping your nose clean and setting the pace early and trying to avoid being in the carnage of the middle of the pack. Speaking of which, surprise, surprise, on the front row we have the 42 of DWH as well as Fluffy, two well-known guys that are sitting on the front row tonight.
There we go. That's right. Yeah, I thought I was reading it off. No wonder why they were all in order, because that was the order of the cars, huh?
hmm
But thank you for correcting that one. Thanks for everyone watching too. Midnight Broadcasting Network, Pocono Racing Cup Series here. It'll be a lot of fun. Looking here at the leaderboard, don't really see many of these guys on there. I'm looking at the daily fast laps, but that really doesn't mean much. And you mentioned how you don't want to be in the carnage, right? So you want to start in the front.
Right.
I've been watching these guys a lot this whole series, dude, and they're really good at staying off each other, like not trying to crowd the same place at the same time. They've been doing an awesome job at that. I don't know if it's going to matter. With Jason starting in the back, I don't think he's going to be worried about that. But it looks like we got our invites. I don't know if you have a feed on anyone that is racing right now. Let's see where they're at. I just tried to grab Jason's. It looks like they're loading in right now. So yeah, I think we can actually jump on in. So I'm gonna go ahead and
All right.
accept this. Don't worry about that blue screen, guys. Just getting into this race. Let's go and join. So everyone that's watching, thank you again. Appreciate it. We'll see what we can do tonight with getting to talk to y'all. I'm just getting everything just straightened out here. Justin, there, I see you. Oh, okay. Now that makes sense. I see you now. Everyone's saying good luck. Good sportsmanship here as always. Like to see it.
All right. Go and get the drivers.
All right.
I want to jump on board with the pole sitter of DWH.
All right. Let's go. Let's do it. Marcus starting third, ready to roll. Let's go, buddy. Everyone's getting lined up.
We had to finish off what you were saying before we got the invites. These guys are very, very talented. Being a driver in the truck series under MBN, I've got to know these guys the past month, and they are top notch, top of the line. They know how to race hard. They know how to race very,
Yeah,
very clean.
definitely.
Um, but they're not afraid to lean on your quarter panel some and really test your patience and your will. Uh, and these guys are very smart with the moves that they make. You could almost say the infamous term calculated. Um, they are very intelligent with how they strategize their races, and they do a very well-rounded job with communicating with each other, and I think that's a huge factor with these super speedways.
Man, you said it all right there, Justin. It really does take a lot of communicating and being well rounded with all of this, and it's too bad we can't really listen into what they're going through as well, because I'm used to seeing them on short tracks and intermediate tracks, and they communicate so well there that it'll be really, really cool to see how they do here. And it looks like they're about ready to go to green. I'm going to try and get to the lead. I'm on Fluffy's car right here in that 17. Let's see if they get going. As they're all lined up, real nice double file with that 42 starting first. As they get to the start-finish line, they get going. That outside line, 17 of Fluffy had a little jump, but that 42 on the inside's moving, and we've got Marcus on the inside subbing for Slade in that 22. The 6 BC Racer Kid's trying to give the 17 a push, but he may have different gearing. Looks like that inside line's really moving, and that 19 of Bags just hops up to the outside. Nice run by him.
And what you're wanting to do at this point in the race is try and just get single file and feel your car out, feel your competitors out, see where your car stacks up at this point against your guys, and see who you can really work with in gel.
Yeah, that was just the first lap. They're not trying to run for a win or anything, and you can see that they're all doing that as the 42 of DWH holds the lead.
Oh,
21
Not sure after the 38 might have caught the apron or got doored.
Yeah, something happened. Just wiggled that 21, and everyone behind just went for a ride. But in that first lap, man, I saw them all work together. They got in line. They didn't try to press any situations. That's a big thing too, to know where you stand. If you don't have the spot, you can't force your way in, and these guys are smart with things like that. But we'll see how things go.
Lag or not.
Yeah, it kind of looked like a little bit of a lag. It was kind of tough to tell.
Guys looking up toward the front there, and they were starting to get a little dicey up there, where the 21 was able to move up to second place.
Yeah, he was holding up pretty well in second too.
Well,
let's see if we can get to the front.
That Big D up front? That's Big D up front.
Looks like the 12, yeah. I'm surprised that there was some pit strategy there on the first lap.
Oh, 22.
As we look back, yeah, 22 goes up the track just a bit. The inside line's really
guys
moving.
Are about to get hooked up.
Yeah, they better hope so. So we look back from the 12, leading that line. Everyone seems to be dropping down. It looks like there's only 3 cars on the outside now.
Yeah, once they get single file, you'll start seeing runs get generated from the back, and you'll see guys move up if they feel comfortable with the run that's being made.
Yeah, and you know, I think you mentioned it before with working together with someone. And maybe people are just trying to sort it out, get with that teammate, get with that partner that they have, someone that they draft real well with. As the 22 goes way up the track.
Oh, in the back, was that smoke?
Looks like AJ, yeah. AJ was a part of it. 18's in it. The 2 as well. Yeah, I'm surprised. There's quite a few cars.
And if you're in that position with those guys, if it's going to stay green, just get lined up, run your race, try and look at fuel mileage, should it stay green. And then just try and get your car going. If it's going to stay green, just get lined up, run your race, try and look at fuel mileage, should it stay green. And then just try and look at fuel mileage, should it stay green.
Yeah,
And
that's
then just
right.
try and work up toward the front pack.
Yeah, you can't let it get to you just yet, you know. Just work it out.
Not
You'll
too
be all
early.
right. So I'm looking at the 88. He's getting a nice run around the outside of that 10. 88 to Jason at WVU, tennis Celtics fan. He was trying to get a little help from I believe that's the 47. Yeah, the 47 and the 19. But that inside line is just there's just so many more cars there right now. It's tough. It's tough for that outside. As the 19 drops to the bottom behind the 21. 21 was having a good run. 21 jumps up to the outside, hopes that he can pick up the 88. I think they're a little too far back if he can get some
Yeah.
help, and it looks like he might be getting some help. But then they drop back down to the bottom. They're all dropping back down.
Yeah, you're getting hung out to dry at the moment. No one's wanting to jump up there yet. There's not enough momentum.
Yeah, and you know how I feel with super speedway races as the 88 slings around the outside. Wow, it's too bad he didn't have
I'm
anyone to go
surprised
with.
to see that.
Yeah, me too. Maybe maybe early on you kind of you test the waters. You know what I mean? Like you see who's gonna work with you, who won't, and that'll kind of help you out in the end. It's like, all right, say I'm the 48 car. No, the 48 car is not in here. Say I'm the 48 car and someone else is in the 4. Middle of the race, I think it's a good time to try to make a move. I think the 4 might help me. I jump up, he doesn't help me. Now I
You'll
may
remember
think
that.
differently. Yeah, exactly. If he wants some help from me, maybe these guys are testing it. Looks like we got about 10 or 11 cars up here, huh?
Yeah, I was just going through the field, and it's unfortunate. The only ones that seem to be hooked up that got involved in the wreck earlier is the 18 and the 6, and they're going through the trioval right now, about to hit the start finish line now. Everyone else is running by themselves. So at this point, if you're by yourself and not in the draft, you're gonna have to just run the low line all the way around. Try not to scrub off as much speed as possible, and try and make it to your to the end of the stage or the next caution, and then work your strategy from there.
Yeah, I agree. Just run your line if you're alone. It's hard to tell sometimes if you need to slow up or speed up. But I was just looking at that 22, and it did seem like he had a few guys not too far behind him. They could get hooked up. I don't think it's going to be enough to catch these leaders, but they could at least, practice some of that drafting, see who's going to be a better pusher, who's going to be better at getting pushed. I don't know about you, but I would much rather be pushed than pushing. But I'm still confident with my pushing.
We just had Bags jump out of line with the 47 and 88, and they're making some steam in the front pack here. So 3 cars up top, and then looks like about 6 or 7 on the bottom, with the 21 on the verge of losing the draft.
Yeah, the 21 kind of looked like he was deciding if he should stick with the bottom or go up to the top.
And right now he's
But
playing the swing man. The high
yeah,
line could really use that 4th guy.
that's right. Yeah, they really could. But you mentioned he doesn't want to lose that draft, and if he starts moving around a lot, there's a better
Oh,
chance. And it
then
looks like
the
the
banging
leaders
doors
started
up
moving
front.
around, and I believe
Looks
that's
like
a caution.
a caution.
I wonder if it's something in the back, because that just seemed like little wiggles.
Yeah.
I
I'm
think that
looking
was
through the
just
field.
it.
I'm not really seeing anything.
Well, that'll definitely help.
Maybe the 22. 22's kind of slow.
Yeah, well, it's
Huh.
definitely going to help that 22.
Yep. He's going to benefit from it. All them guys that got singled out are going to benefit from this caution. Use those 4 fresh tires, full tank of gas, then go back at it.
Yeah, and it's tough to tell with these super speedway races what your strategy is going to be like. Tires don't mean much, do they?
No, not
No.
at all. You'll see the strategy get played out throughout this race too. I'm pretty sure these guys will probably go 2 pit cycles on the same tires just because the fall off is just not there at the super speedways.
That's right, and as they go green, 42, DWH, he's still got the lead. That 19's got a nice run on the outside. See what Bags can do.
Oh, got
In the
some
back.
going in the back there.
Set the
38
38,
is
yeah.
around.
Still side by side from about 4th on back. Take a look with the 19. He's got 2 guys behind him. But that inside line's still moving. That 2 makes a nice move behind that 22. Right in between the 22 and the 18.
Just not getting enough people. Oh, and he
No,
jumps
it's
back up.
not.
Wow.
With his teammate too. That's a pretty cool move, man. I wonder if that was just accidental, or if it's like, hey man, right time, right place, let's go. But they're not hooking up too well on that outside line. It's a little difficult.
They just need 1 or 2 more. Oh, there's the 12.
There's the 2. There's another. Yeah, there's the 2 that you said going up. And then a 3rd came up.
And then
but then the 19 jumps down. Wow, as soon as you think that high line's going to make it.
Now everyone's trying to fight for the bottom. The 18 just got a victim of that.
Yeah, that 18 there, New World Order. He was one of the last ones to hop back up, and he's the last one to get back down, which is unfortunate.
And he will remember that. Whoever did that to him, he will remember that later on.
Yeah. So hey guys, I was trying to help you,
we'll know who it is.
Yeah. It's just crazy to think about how much momentum you can get in this kind of draft. I was on the 19. I watched the 2 drop back almost like he was standing still. It's like you're on the freeway going 80 and the guy next to you is going 45, 55 miles an hour. But now they're really starting to spread out. 47's giving the 19 a big push, but it looks like they let off a bit. That high line is starting to make a move. There's about 5 cars up there. If they can keep it single file, they may be able to get around the 4. But they all squeeze to the bottom except the 22, but the 22 is able to make it down there. Man, these guys are really good at give and take. You know, there's a lot of give I see early on in races with them. It's a nice green flag run, especially with the amount of cars. 12 goes up the track. Not sure if that was calculated or not, or maybe he thought if I stay back there, or if I try to stay down there, I might get run over. I'm going to hop up and let these guys go by. I'll try and fight for it later.
And they're starting to generate a lot of big momentum. If you watch how they're spreading out within this top group, whoever's falling back some, they are going to get a heck of a run. I was watching the 11 and 18 working together when they were shifted out of the draft for a little bit. They got hooked up and had just enough of a sniff, and they got pulled right back up into this when these guys started dicing it up in the front. So keep an eye on that. As long as you got a sniff of this draft, you'll be just fine.
That's a good point too, man. Now that's gonna make me want to pay more attention to Jason Keffler in that 88, because I can see his onboard, so I can see what kind of speed he's running, and if he drops back from that lead group a little bit, even though he's part of it, I'd like to see what kind of steam he can pull if he gets a few tenths behind, starts pulling them back in. 21 of Marcus isn't doing too bad.
Marcus is hanging tough out there. If they get enough cars up there, I want to see what that 21 can do up top.
Yeah, you know,
like he can hold it.
Yeah, I agree with you. We watched a few cars try and do that, and of course he lost ground, but he didn't lose as much ground as some other guys did going by themselves. Bulldog says, watch that 14 and 10. Let's see what these guys can do. Let's see if I can get over to them.
Smoke, yeah, he dropped back with Fluffy. And look, Jason just went around him from them dropping back with all this momentum. He's got 5, 6 cars going with him up on the top side.
There we go. There we go.
Didn't have enough steam. Didn't have enough steam. But you see the 4 cars that were in the back, there was about a 3 or 4 car length gap in between them and the main pack. They have now been sucked up to these guys. And watch the 11. See how far back he is? He's got probably just a sniff of the draft, but he's on that verge where he's got to run these laps and be consistent.
Yeah, and that's tough too. You got to be very consistent. I know that there's been many times where I'd be in that position. Well, yeah, he looks like he's grabbed it. pretty well, but I'd be in that spot where I'd think, yeah, I can get that draft, and then just a bit of a mishap, and it's gone because these guys are floating. You got no help behind you, not much in front of you.
You can hear some of these guys, they're getting huge runs and they're running to the back of each other, and you'll see them stack up and you'll see people shift down to below the apron. That's what that's causing, is they're trying to avoid hitting each other, and they're getting these wild runs, and they're just trying to take it somewhere where there's no room to go.
Yeah, that 22 Diesel let that 19 of Bags in towards the back as the 47 is moving back too, but he's lost a lot of steam, but he's able to grab back to it. The 11, like you mentioned, he made some moves up. Now he's dropping up top again. He could be playing around, just messing with everyone.
You never know.
Seeing what he can do. Yeah, as these guys get single file.
See, they'll get these gaps in between each other, and then they close right back up. It's just the beauty of the draft.
It really is. And just knowing that these guys can sense that with the others, so it's not too much of an accordion. They really do a good job.
You got to be able to tell your party if you're getting a huge run on somebody and you have nowhere to go with it. You need to tell them, all right, we're checking up, lift, something along those lines. That communication goes a long way from keeping cautions out of the race and keeping it green and putting on a really good show for the fans.
Yeah, definitely. Looked like the 21 of Marcus, the 88, they were moving up a bit. I don't think anyone's really ready to start trying anything just yet. It's not that they don't want to work with them. They're just saying, maybe not now. The 12 may have lost it a little bit as he goes up the track. I don't think that was planned as he gets back down in front of that 21.
Well, there's definitely a lot of testing going on here. You see Jason, he could have dipped right in line behind the AJ Storm just then, but he opted to go on the outside to see who would go with him, number one, and then number two, if he's able to side draft. Is he able to pull himself up without any help and stay side by side with these guys on the bottom line? You want to test this stuff early, so you have that knowledge going into the last run of the race where you can pull that out of the bag of tricks.
That's right. Try and remember those moves, when they happen, how it happened. And it's crazy because there's such a calculation to it, man. Like, how many cars are in this one line? How many cars are with me? When am I catching them? And one thing that I've been noticing a lot past few weeks is that 18 in New World Order. He seems like a real team player. He really wants to get everyone's respect. He's always trying to, put tricks in that bag, like you mentioned, and he's trying different things, and he's okay with falling back a bit, and that might be able to help him in the end. When it comes to being in the front, sometimes you don't really learn all those tricks unless you really practiced a lot.
And looks like the 38 is the only one that's not up in the big mix of things. He's crossing the line right now as the leaders are coming out of 4, it looks like. So as long as these leaders stay single file like they are, it looks like 22 is going down pit road.
So we got people starting to make pit strategies. We're on lap 25 of 27, so he's trying to get down there before the stage break.
Now, the only thing unfortunate for him is he went down there by himself, so he has no dancing partner when he comes back out. Depending on how everything shakes out with the green flag rounds of pit stops, he could be finding himself out of the draft.
Yeah, he's only going to have one more lap to try and stay on that lead lap before they go to the stage break. We may see the 22 take the lead at the beginning of stage 2. I don't really see anyone else slowing down.
I'm watching the 88 stream right now, him and Bags, a.k.a. Voltage. These guys are drafting together. They got a little bit of separation from the front 5 guys, and they are making a ton of headway. So watch for the 19 and 88 working together here, coming to the end of the stage.
Yeah, and Bags, our Bulldog, was actually saying in the chat on YouTube to watch for the 14 and 10, and the 14 was just trying to make a move on the outside, he was in second, the 10 was in third, but that outside line just didn't hold up. We still see that 10 there
Man, they are pushing.
yeah, Galen just really trying. And it looks like this
There's
is
a
going to
lot
be
of
the
bump
end of the
drafting going on.
stage. Let's see if that 19 could get a run. And that's the end of stage 1. Goes the 42, 10, and the 19. Nice stage win there.
Wow.
By the 42
I told you that
DWH.
19 and 88, they were going to work together there, and they pulled it up to third and fourth. They were sixth and seventh when I brought it up.
Man, see, that's that kind of stuff, man, that they're learning. They'll bring it. They'll definitely be bringing it.
This is a huge break for the 22 and the 38. They were singled out of the draft, and I saw the 11 and 47 also got shifted out of the draft as well. So this is a big break for these guys. Regroup, try to re-strategize, find out what you did wrong in that last run, fix it so where you don't lose the draft again.
Yeah, so how'd you feel about that first stage? It looked like there's only 2 cautions.
About normal. They're just trying to feel everything out, trying to test each other and see where they're at. And it was single file for the majority of it. They were trying to test some things, but for the majority of the race, they were single file. About what I predicted.
Yeah, me too, man. These guys are real clean racers. As they go green, that 22, that was a bit of strategy because he did start off in first.
Yeah, he stayed out.
And he's doing a good job holding that bottom line. They're kind of wiggling behind him a bit, but he's holding his own. That 42's staying strong on the outside. He's got a lot of followers. That 19, 2, 6, and 38.
I'm curious to see if they amplify the intensity a little bit on this stage. Just to see what they have to get ready for the last run for stage 3.
Yeah, I think it's going to stay clean for the most part. We're going to see a lot of change. We should have taken a bet, like the over and under for how many lead changes we see. I'd like to thank the guys watching too. Cole Custer and Noah Gregson, fan 009. He says hi. Just want to stop by and say how great the series is. Keep up the great work. Yeah, man. Thank you for joining in and commenting like that. Everyone appreciates it. These drivers work really hard. Man, Justin, you and I got the easy work. We get to watch. This is the fun stuff.
It's definitely difficult out there.
It sure is. And number 21, number 88 from the back says, hope it's not lagging like last night. Yeah, I hope not. Some people didn't like that. I'm going to try and get back to the back of this pack here. Looks like Marcus lost the draft a bit, actually a lot. That's not going to fare well at the beginning of a stage like this, but the way that these guys are all spread out, you never know. There could be guys that fall back. There could be a caution.
And like I predicted, they definitely turned up the heat up front here. They were 3-4 wide, couple rows deep. But that's what you got to do. You got to see who you work best with. Number one, number two. If you step out of line, who's going to go with you? And you want to remember who does that. As the 11 gets dropped onto the apron here, I don't know what happened to him.
Oh man, he's not having the best of luck right now. The 22's doing a pretty good job of holding that lead, and you mentioned earlier that track position, getting up front, like the starting spot, that starting spot's really going to make a big effect. Well, that 22, he started close to the back of the pack. He's really running through, and we got 21 laps left in the second stage. Cole Custer and Noah Gregson fan, I know you were wondering. Hyper Racing and Gaming, he said he was fine with how last night's went. I wish I could have seen it, but I'm sure it was some good racing. We'll have some great racing tonight too.
Don't look now. We have 2 lanes.
Whoa.
We got pretty much a 6-car draft up top and then about 8 on the bottom, and the boys up top are actually holding their own. They just stay in line.
Yep, and as you say, stay in line. The 18 gets up above the 22. I think he had to do that because he was in the middle of, I believe that's the 22 and the 88. I don't think there's much room. He kind of had to do that. It looks like the 14 goes up into a few cars. I don't see any
I
indication of
don't
a
see
caution
any.
just yet.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
just
see
too
a
bad. It looked
caution
like
just
three
yet.
cars did wreck.
Yeah, going into one, I saw him shoot to the apron, and there was a big congestion there as the 18 was falling back as the guys were going three wide. I'm wanting to know if that maybe played a factor in that.
Yeah, I feel like it did. The 38 gets pushed down a little bit as the
They're
17
definitely racing hard
or the
now.
19.
There's
Yeah, or the 17. Yeah.
hopefully they can clean up some of that and get get it a little bit better pack racing going on there.
Yeah, man, definitely. This 38, he's doing a pretty good job. He had some issues earlier on. He's giving that 6 a nice shove. They're staying in a nice straight line. That's what you want to see, and I think that's what happened. That was the issue with that outside line before when you mentioned, don't look now, but that outside line's making moves, and then they started breaking up, and it just fell apart on them.
I'm looking in the back here to see all the guys that got pushed out of the draft. We got a DW, our pole sitter, as well as Big D in the 12. We've got looks like what is that, the 11 back there? You got Smoke in the 14. Some good drivers that got pushed out of the draft here, and they're just trying to make it to the end of segment two and regroup.
Yeah, I think the 10 just caught a really big break from the 19. Going into one, he went up the track a bit, a full lane, and he was able to get the car back down there in front of the 19 to keep that lead. He could have lost a ton of positions.
And now these guys are probably a little gun shy seeing what happened earlier, and they want to be happy and keep their maintain their track position. Because going into segment three, it's going to be all about being up front. As the 38 got shot out of the draft into the wall.
Yeah, and he was able to pull back down in front of that 37 or 47. But one thing I saw there is it looked like he may have got the rear bumper of the 6 a little odd. He just kind of hooked it, kind of shot him up the
Yep.
track. I don't know about you, man, but that trial can be one of the loosest parts of this
hmm
track when you're bump drafting like that.
And that's one of the most unfortunate things about super speedways is when you are having to bump draft somewhat to keep momentum going, especially if you're going around on the outside. You're going to have to bump draft some, but be smart about it. There are those times though where you catch the bumper at the wrong time and it just whips you around. There's nothing you can do about it. It's just going to pull your front end and just yank you. And you want to be mindful of that and leave some separation. Be mindful of your bumping that you're doing to the car in front of you.
Yeah, yeah, completely. Because sometimes you even think you've got a nice, stable car, and when you get them just the wrong way, you'll lose it uh, before you know it. It doesn't matter. I know these guys are really smooth, really good racers, but going this fast and that little bit of bump, it just kind of lifts the rear, pushes down on the nose. You can really shoot around.
And I'm looking on Jason Keffer's the 88, watching his live stream right now, and he's got his estimated fuel up. He's got 13 laps remaining. Coming to the line, I want to see what lap we are on. Give just a second. They have 15 laps to go in this stage, so they are going to have to pit before stage in. Um, do you think that they will pit early and then stay out at stage in and play that strategy, or do you think there's going to be people that'll pit this time around when they run out and then pit again to get that 2 or 3 extra laps of fuel for the next run, and then it'll just shake up everything down the line?
Even though track position is a huge key, I think no matter what at the stage end, I would probably pit. Um, when it comes to pitting early or not, I think it depends on who I'm paired with, like in a party, because you don't really want to go by
True.
yourself. Um, but all I know is that I'd try and run it. If I was in the pack, I'd try and save some fuel, try and look at that estimated fuel time. I know, you can't really save 2 laps. Maybe you could, but it really depends on how it fares out in your favor or the track's favor. But all I know is that at the end of this stage, I'd be pitting. What about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I'll be doing the same.
Yeah.
I'll be getting with the people in my party and saying, this is how many laps of fuel I've got left. I'm pitting X lap. Uh, who's going with me? Who's going to stay out? And you want to try and at least have decent numbers with you. You have at least one person, at least, going with you. That way you at least have a drafting partner. Um, and not only that, whenever you do reach the stage end, you at least know who you can trust in that second or
Right.
the last segment going into there if they stuck with you. So
Right.
there's
Yeah.
a lot of games being played right here.
Yeah, man. And it's like, yeah, how much money did you Venmo me? You know, like, did you help me out? You give me some cash? Nah. But it's a big it's a everything is just a double-edged sword with this sport. I feel you could be one of the fastest, but be a guy on an island of one, and that's a little tough. And Bulldog's asking when they're gonna get me in a car. I'm cool with being up here. I'm in a league of my own. I feel comfortable with that. But thank you, man. Money moves. It says hello, fellow drivers. What's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, fellas?
From the back is asking who's all driving tonight. I'll go through the running order again. Let's see. We got the two, or let's go back. The 11 car is Celtics fan. The 17 of Fluffy. 22 of Diesel. 21 is Marcus subbing in for Slade. The 42 is WDH, who got the pole, was leading pretty well, but had a little mishap. Got the 6 car of BC Racer Kid. And then we got the 14 Smoke. The 10 of Galen. The 19 of Bags, or Voltage, as many of you know. 12 is Big Destroyer. The 38, who is in that 38? Why can't I think who's in that 38? Oh man, I feel horrible now. I don't have him on the roster. I got it
Yeah,
somewhere. I got it written somewhere. Gotta have it somewhere. We'll get back to you, bud. The 18 looks like he's pitting. That's New World Order.
Oh, from the back, Will said that's Saab.
Oh, Saab. Oh, shoot. My bad. I thought Saab was in the 3. Oh, no. Okay, that makes sense. There's no 3 out there. So, yeah, 38 is Saab. Thanks from the back.
Pretty sure that Will.
Yeah, that
he
47
wasn't
is
even in our
Rowdy.
driver lineup, so we was just trying to figure it out.
And the 2 of AJ Storm. 88 of WVU. And as we get back around, so it looks like, you were mentioning that whole strategy call, right? And that 18 New World Order, he pitted. It looked like he pitted by himself. So what kind of indication do you give these drivers when you're thinking about pitting? If you're not in a party with them?
Well, the general rule of thumb is to go low on the backstretch, but this is a super speedway, so that'd be a little tough. You'll be going below the double yellow line, so really it's just trying some way to let them know going low on the backstretch is usually for non-party acknowledgement of pit road. But we'll see. Coming off of 4, these guys will shoot it down low, and hopefully they'll be able to work it out.
Yeah, and it looks like this lead pack is coming up onto that 18 car.
And the 18's doing the wise thing going up top. That was smart. New World
Yeah.
Order.
Well, I've really liked watching New World Order in this 18. He really looks like he's just gaining a ton of experience, a ton of respect from these guys, and that's what it takes to be able to run in a series like this. You got to be fast. He's fast, and you got to be smart. He's being smart.
I'm looking at Jason's stream again. He's got 7 laps of fuel, so within the next 5 to 6, maybe even 7 laps, we should be seeing our leaders coming down pit road. So it'll be interesting to see who all comes down together. If they all come down at once, we'll see how congested they can take it onto pit road and make it clean. I hope it's clean, because these guys are Usually known for really, really good racing.
Yeah, I mean they are, but you also like think about it. They're going so fast, so freaking fast, and they're nose to tail right now, and being clean like that's gonna be tough. One thing, like me and some of my buddies try and coordinate is when we go down pit road, just in case someone breaks at a different point or just lets off at a different point. I'm gonna stay close to the double yellow line. You stay closest to the wall. You stay to the middle. We try and like stagger it like that. I wonder if that's ever anything that comes into play with these fellas.
It does. It does. From experience racing with these guys, you want to try and have a staggered entry to pit road just for that purpose. And if you notice another thing I'm seeing here, uh, right before they go to pit, especially, you'll see them all start to separate from each other a little bit more. There'll be like two car lengths,
Uh huh.
um, and that usually does help signify when people are pitting as well. Uh, so we'll see. We'll see.
So yeah, it looks like that 88 is showing 5 laps of fuel left. I looked over at his just in time to miss how many laps were left in this stage, but I still don't think he's going to be able to make it.
Yeah, I'm watching his tachometer. He is not really pushing it at all. He's getting close to Fluffy, and then he backs off and has a 2 car length separation.
I like
So
that
they're really just
strategy.
trying to fill each other out. And no one's really leaning on each other either. And you'll see there's a couple guys getting runs around him here, but that's what it's from.
Yeah. And
Anytime
the
you lift that
38,
little bit, that draft.
the 38 may have had the short end of that stick unless he's like, hey, I'm gonna get behind everyone because I'm gonna pit too, but I don't want to get bunched up, so I'm gonna play it safe. That could be something he's thinking. The 18, I still like that he's staying high. He was able to stick with the draft, but he's thinking these guys are gonna want to pit soon. So when they go to pit and I'm at full speed, I don't want to get caught up in that. And it looks like the 22, the
There's the
12,
22.
just these two guys are pitting. Can the 12 get down to speed? It looked like the 12 was going a bit quick. I did miss the, what was that, the 21. Marcus, he did
Yeah, the
pit,
21 just came out.
but he had a tough going since the beginning of that second stage. He was kind of by
Yeah.
himself anyways, so at least he can work on his own car and hope for the best on the final stage
Now this
when it
6
comes
car
up.
is a sitting duck. I'm wondering how they're going to handle this because they are coming quick.
Well, that 42 is getting a pretty good push from that 18 on the outside, but the 19 goes down with the 2.
And
The
here
2
comes
is
the
going
2.
on to the pits
And by himself.
by
Wow.
himself, yep. Let's see, the 88's going to be coming around soon.
Yeah, with all these guys starting to dip down, they're going to try and get as close to each other as possible. Oh, the 12
They're
is...
about 3 wide. Whoa. And there's
I wouldn't
3
be surprised
laps
if we
to
see a
go.
bunch of them come
3
down.
laps to go in the stage. The 18 is just trying not to be a part of a wreck. I like what he's doing there.
The 11's doing smart
11's
things, staying way down.
Yeah. These guys have a full head of steam on them.
That was very smart. No needed. You got the end of the stage coming up. You'll get the wave around here, a lap down.
That's right. From the
And
back
here
is
comes the
asking, is it
42.
best? Yeah, 42's pitting. From the back asks, is it best to be in the back or not even in the race at all? Man, in the
At this point, I'd like to be at the back of the draft. Knowing that I'm coming on the pit road, I want to be at the back of the draft and have the easiest time in.
yeah, when it comes to pitting, definitely. And you know what? Then you can take a chance of not pitting at stage end. I mentioned before, regardless, I'm going to pit at stage end, but you really have to run through the race. You have to do mock races. I say it all the time. You have to run a mock race, see what's going to happen, see what you need to do to save a certain amount of fuel, when the last time you can pit would be at, and try and work off that as the 19 is heading down pit road as they should be coming to
Someone
one to go.
pitted late too. Was that the 10? They yanked it off the track late.
Let's see. Yeah, yeah, it was the 10. He is on pit road. It's gonna be cool to see
And
what this
I don't know if you
this
saw
88 can
this.
do.
Yeah, I was about to say he stayed out with 1 lap of fuel remaining, fuel lights blinking, and think I heard a white flag for the segment.
That's
It's a little
right.
rowdier out here
Yeah, it looks
with
like
Fluffy and BC Racer.
yeah, 4 guys are staying out. There's 3 guys in front of the 88 right now, so they're saving just as much. I wonder if we're gonna start seeing guys run out of fuel. And it kind of looks like that. These guys are slowing up in front of the 88. He has nowhere he can go. Doesn't want to bring it below the double yellow. That was a pretty
Oh
sweet
boy, that's
stage
some
finish,
tight
man.
racing.
Yeah. Holy cow.
Wow.
Wow.
They
That
were
was
able to
fun to
make it.
watch.
They were able to save a lap and a half of fuel there.
Fluffy bringing it out with that stage win. That was crazy. The 88 was able to bring up third as the 6 BC Racer kid. He pulled off a second place stage finish there. So yeah, I think I think we're gonna see some good racing at the end of
Oh
this.
yeah.
Definitely got to
Yeah, I was
stay.
just about to say that.
Yeah, we got to stay looking at that fuel mileage, man. Because it really seemed like people were running out of gas. I don't know. 88 had to slow down a lot. There's only 5 cars on the lead lap. Uh, Diesel being the 5th car. Let's see if I can get a look at who's the first car 1 lap down. And that would be New World Order in that 18. And it makes sense. I think he was the first one to pit, but he was able to stick with that drag. He was able to stay with that lead lap. Or with
And he's
the
showing that he's
lead
pitting on
cars.
here too.
Yeah, hey, you know what? He's getting that free pass anyways, being that first car. He's getting that lucky dog, so why not?
Yeah, everything you've learned up until this point, you're gonna apply that to this race.
That's it.
Let's see what these guys can do from the back here. The 42, 19, and 10. They've been fast. Oh, the 21's under the apron here.
Looks like the 38 still on pit road. Unless he had
Maybe
some
line
technical
out.
difficulties. Yeah, maybe. That 17, Fluffy's got the
Yep,
lead with the
38's
88
lagged
right
out.
behind him. The 6 staying strong on that outside. He's got a
He
number
got
of cars
Rowdy
behind
all
him.
over him.
Yeah, let's see what that 11 can do. And it looks like the
They're
14
making some
as
good
well.
steam up top.
They
4
are.
cars. Wow.
They are. Oh, but the
And
11 gets up a
42.
little bit,
Yep.
breaks it up. The 14 just got inside.
And just watch their momentum just stall and watch them fall back a little bit until they get some more momentum built up.
Yeah, hopefully they can get it back up there. The 6, you're right, man. The 6 really didn't lose as much ground as I thought he would. He only lost about a car because he was about at the rear quarter panel of that 17, but now we're starting to see.
Yeah, the strength in numbers are starting to show now.
Yeah, man, that outside line is losing it, and it looks like the 2
Got
may have.
shuffled out.
Yeah, falls back to the bottom. He's got to pick a good time to run back in there and not lose that
6 just
draft.
dropped down too. Oh, big wreck in the back.
Ooh, the
11
19,
and 19.
the
Is that
42.
the 42. Yep.
42 we saw up front a lot, and you know I thought about it before. That 42 is up front so much, and the guys in the back are learning a lot. Is that an advantage to the guys in the back as soon as the 42 gets back there? He's not used to it.
Yeah, I'm about to say the 42 wants to be up in the front for sure. The 11, I'm wanting to figure out if he's fighting a loose cars or something, because he's been having issues all night just trying to stay in behind people, or if he's checking up and getting loose that way. I'm wondering if that's playing a factor into how his car is handling.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's gonna feel different to him, but looks like we'll have 35 laps to go right now before they go green, so that's definitely gonna fall down. But let's see who we got in the lead. It looks like JRM.
Oh, look at there, Keffer out front. Okay.
There we go. Nice little strategy by him. And in second place was the guy that was a lap down, that New World Order 18 car. He's trying something
He's
different.
played his cards right.
I like it. I like it. Then 19 getting a big push from the
Oh,
17. The 18 squeezes down there. Doesn't want to be a part of that. As it looks like the 47's getting loose. The
they're all
11
three
thinks
wide in
better
the
of it.
back.
Gets under the apron.
These restarts, you're just trying to get everything you can, like every little inch,
Yeah. Yeah, you
just to
have
try and
to.
get a better spot.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think of that 18's move? He went right down to the bottom. He's got second place. He started on the outside line in second place. What do you think would have happened if he didn't do that?
Oh, he'd be shuffled to the back because
Yeah.
everyone already look at the entire group right now. Everyone's on the bottom. He would have been left out to dry and floating right back to the back.
Yeah, completely. You know, he saw that opening and he took it. That's a good way to look at it. He saw it. He went down there. Oh, it
Yeah,
looks
he
like
did
the
what he
11
had
may
to
be
do
out
to
as well.
assure his track position. He did what he had to do.
Yeah. I believe the 11 may have lagged out as well, which is too bad. The 18 on the inside of the track may have been
I
too
think he
much
got
for him.
hooked bump drafting.
Yeah. Let's hope that he can hold on to it. But, I mean, we've seen what he was doing before. One thing that, in this series that you can't count on are cautions. These guys are just that
Yep.
strong running together that you can't think, oh, yeah, there will be a caution. I'll get back up there. You can't have that mentality.
And take a look at our top three guys. All of them in our pro league. Got
Jeez.
JRM Keffer for Junior Motorsports. Got Bags, also known as Voltage for JGR. And then you got Fluffy with Roush Fenway.
Yeah, man, that's pretty impressive. You know, it really just shows that these guys have put the time and effort into the game. As Fluffy goes up top, looks like BC Racer Kid, who's also up there. He's going up
Yeah,
with
Fluffy's
him.
gonna
Another
dice it.
Ford. Look
Fluffy's
at all
always
those
gonna
Fords.
dice it.
Look at all those Fords up there, man. That's
I think
one,
oh, there
two,
you go.
three,
Okay.
4, 5, 6 Fords up top.
Yeah, these boys are about to start getting after it. Fluffy ain't playing around. He don't like to ride in line all that time. It's
No.
game time. He's starting to put on the game mask and it's time to go.
Yep.
Keeping it clean so far. I like what I've seen.
Heck yeah, man. There's 29 laps to go in this stage, too, or in this race. In all. That outside line, man. I'm afraid to talk and jinx anything. The 14 looks a little wiggly on the bottom, but he keeps it going. That 47 does a good job of recognizing it. So does the 42. That 19 is doing a great job of holding it behind the 88. Same with the 10. This inside line's doing well. The top line's moving around, and it looked like the 12 got a little loose. There's got to be a caution after that.
And I was just about to comment about if you're stuck on the top side in that situation, the best thing you can do is just run your line. Stay consistent, stay in line. What I always try and use is, the bottom line is going to be up against what we call the butter.
Yeah.
The yellow lines on the bottom. If you're going to be on the outside, the left side tires be on the white dotted lines. That's usually a good benchmark to holding a steady line and keeping it clean when you're double file. When you start wiggling around, the bottom side is going to be wiggling around trying to keep it off the apron. That's where issues come about.
And you know where else they come about too? Why I feel like we see a lot of issues with the high side line, right? Is because where do you usually practice? Where are you usually running? Around on the bottom. So you get up there and all of a sudden you're turning a little bit more. You have to take it differently. And that could be screwing with their heads a bit. So seeing as how they were able to go that many laps, green flag, and get that outside line running that far into a run, that's pretty darn impressive. As we see a new leader in that 10 of Galen, and the 2 tried to get down there, but he tried to squeeze down there.
Wow, great job, AJ.
That was, man, I don't know how that 2 kept going straight. Yeah, Bulldog.
AJ's tuck in right where he's at.
Yeah, Bulldog on YouTube. I think he's got he's got a voodoo doll. He's saying he snapped his fingers and he killed half the field. So man, stop snapping. Put that voodoo doll away. They're getting single file now, and Jason got the
Jason
short
got
end of
out
that,
of the
man.
draft.
Yeah, that's too bad. Now he's really gonna have to try and play his strategy. If you were him, if I were him, I would think right now my best friend is that 18. That 18 seems like he's one that tries to think outside of the box, think of things that other people aren't doing, and that may help him when you're thinking of people to run with, at least.
Now, I didn't do my homework earlier for this. How many laps of fuel are they getting out of a full tank?
So, yeah, I didn't do mine either, but I think it's 19 from last time that JRM pitted. It was 19 or so of fuel.
No, look at there. He just flipped it over for me. 19 laps.
Okay, so now he's
what's
got 19,
remaining.
so maybe a little bit more, but I think they're going to have to pit one more time. There's no way that they're going to have to save. But, yeah, 23 is that? I think it's 23 to go.
If I were Keffer's position, you know you're already out of the draft. You're counting on someone wrecking. You're counting on outside variables that are beyond your control. What you do have control of is your fuel mileage. You can run and stay out if you want, but you know you're going to have to pit anyway. What I would do is run until I can get into the window, and I'll pit right now. That way, when I come out, I can get right with the leaders, be in their draft, and then as they start falling off, whoever's trying to stay out, I can benefit from that draft.
Justin,
as green flag comes around.
Dude, Justin, I agree completely with that, man. Because he's already running slow enough lap times. So what's the point of continuing that if you can pit, make sure you're going to be set for the rest of the race, and hope that you get along with the draft? I agree completely. Don't want to wait too long in that position. And it's so far off, he can't slow down. There's no way you're going to save it. It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter. They're going to catch you anyways. The way that caution fell, he's not going to be able to do that. Looks like the 22 is trying to start an outside line with the 2. The 21 is still there, Marcus. Look at that sleeper. I'd love to see what he can do at the end of this race. It's nice to see him back in here.
Okay,
yeah. I don't know what it is. He's just a very respectful racer that I like to see. Not that any of these other guys aren't, but he's played it differently. He kind of makes me feel like he's a black sheep right now with what he's been doing. Earlier on he was going with people, trying to make moves. He's trying to make as many friends as he can. But going back to the front,
elbow with the best.
It definitely is, man, and he's doing a good job at it. That 10 car's in the lead. With that 42, DWH made his way back up. We saw him in a wreck not too long ago.
Surprise.
My gosh, I should have been following him for that. I would have loved to have seen all those moves. I'm sorry, bud, if you start watching this later on. I don't think it matters. Look at that 42's
look
run.
At DW. Pull him.
Oh,
wow.
my gosh. And he kind of came down a little later than all right. That's the move of the race. I'm happy I followed it. So there you go, DWH. You got your little 5 seconds of fame with that. That was a sick move. I haven't seen anyone be able to pull that off.
Nah, I've raced with DW in leagues about 2-3 years ago, and the dude's a solid racer, and I've never seen him do something like that. That was quite impressive. Oh, the 14's on the apron. Everybody's checking up behind him. If the yellow comes out, this benefits the 88 so much.
Oh yeah, it does.
If he's already pitted, he'll be in the catbird seat.
He's pitting right now, man. That was the perfect timing to do it. He's getting off the road.
That's beautiful.
But they're still green. Can you believe that?
I'm shocked about that.
I can't believe that.
Was 4 or 5 cars.
I can't believe that it's still green after that. That's unbelievable. But yeah,
I'm pretty speechless out of that one.
Yeah. I don't understand that. But that 42, man, I've been really following these guys. I've had the pleasure of being able to commentate on a lot of their races, and man, can that guy make things happen? Yeah, he's always on a roller coaster. He'll be up down and then get himself back up there. It's really cool to see. And then, like, I'm on this 19 right now, and who's that? Bags? Is Bags in
Yep,
the
that's
19?
bags.
Yeah, Bags.
Hmm.
He's just always there. You know, he's kind of a sleeper,
Smooth.
real smooth, extremely smooth. But you can say that about so many of these guys. Everyone's got a great quality, and it's really neat. It's really neat to see the different personalities after watching so many races. Wow, the 22 gets a huge run with that 18 behind them, but I don't think they're going to be able to make anything happen with it.
Yeah, I'm cycling through our field right now and seeing where everybody's at.
Bulldog actually just let us know that the 42 and the 10, they were former teammates, so let's see if they can rekindle some old times. The 18 drops down from the 22, which I can understand. But I mean, he would have been the last car on in that line anyways. Doesn't matter. You know, he's helped them out so much. He needs a little bit for himself.
Well,
The
I can tell
88
you
and the
this,
17. Oh, the 88 just came up to the 17 so quick. Gave him a huge nudge. Man, was that perfectly timed for that knock on the rear bumper of that 17 out of turn 2. He was able to turn it just right. That 17 saw it. They lined up perfectly to get going. It was almost seamless.
how much you want to bet that was orchestrated? If they're in the same party, they were talking.
Oh man, it had to have been. And you know what? Even if they weren't in the same party, I feel as though 17 was looking in his mirror. 88 saw the closing distance there, the closing rate, and they were able to time that perfectly. That's how it had to have been, man. But now look at them. They're 2 by 2 for first and second on back as the
Rowdy,
47.
look at the 47.
Yeah, 47 Rowdy's getting a huge push from who?
And
That
there's your
18.
18.
No, I'm not playing favorites. I'm not saying he's my favorite. I'm just thinking that he's definitely brought attention to my eye here, and would love to
I
see
like
what
what
he
I'm
can
seeing.
do. Me too, man. This inside line has a nice solid line going, and they. Oh, now they get a little help. The 47. 47 pulls down. 22 doesn't really have a choice right now.
Is that AJ with him, or is that a
AJ,
Big D?
no, that's Big Destroyer behind Diesel, right, in the 22.
So the 42 and 47 just basically exchanged spots. So
Yeah, that
42
42
on the
was
outside
not
now.
happy in second. He saw what that 18 could do.
I want to see what 18 could do with 42.
I think the 18 is making a ton of friends, man. But another thing, these guys aren't bringing that 18 down with them. They're not saying, all right, let's go, and then bring them down. So, you know, it's
gonna
tough.
remember that too if it comes down to it.
Yeah, it's tough for the 18, but I think he's gonna have the ace of spades at the end of this if he's up front and he can make a decision like that. These guys better be thinking about stuff like this, because that 18 is definitely very committed to what he's doing. But you can't blame the 42 and the 47 either. You can't.
And a little note here, I don't know if he's pitting or not, but the 14 is on pit road. And I'm not sure if he's lagged out or not.
Let's hope he hasn't.
Maybe the 14 is Smoke fan.
Bulldog
one
is
of our Pro League drivers.
Ah man, Smoke. Bulldog's really looking at that 10. He really likes that 10. He's saying, watch out for him.
10 and 42, yeah. 42 was involved with the SHR team up until recently. That's where the former teammates come from.
Got it. It looks like there's 14 to go.
In this race if he plays it right.
Yeah, man. There's 14 to go right now. Well, really, I'd say 13 because JRM, the 88, is a lap down. But these guys probably could pit soon if they wanted to. Yeah, they're inside that window.
And another note, I don't see Fluffy in front of the 88 anymore, so I'm wondering if Fluffy himself pitted or did JRM go around him?
That's a good point. Let's try and find that. Yeah, JRM got around him. Fluffy's behind him. But I think
If Fluffy
Fluffy's
has
saving.
pitted with him, that'd be smart. And
See,
I wouldn't think twice about it. I mean, it is Fluffy. Fluffy is going to play whatever strategy he's dealt.
yeah, because I know that Fluffy was involved in that wreck that wasn't called, right?
Right.
And I think that when he got up to speed, that was when the 88 was already up to speed. 88 got to his bumper, because the 17 isn't on the 88's bumper.
No.
He's right in his draft, so he may be trying something. I like that. 42 still got the lead with the 47. And that 10 is keeping a nice distance, and then looks like the 19 keeping a good distance as well.
And also to note in the back here, the 2 has caught the 21, so now they are drafting together.
All right, there we go. We see some forwards working. Like to see if Marcus can pull anything out of his bag of tricks with AJ. Oh,
the 2 and
21 are spinning. And that causes a caution. Caution
Oh,
on the
wow.
field. Wow. 2 cars
Guess
spin
who's
like
in the
that.
catbird seat?
Who do
The
you think?
88.
I still think he's going to have to pit though. I'm not sure.
Nah, he pitted early enough. We'll see. Nah, he's good.
He's good? All right, good. I wasn't able to catch his stream quick enough.
Oh, he is pitting. He decided to opt for a half a can of fuel.
Well,
wow.
you know, he's looking at it. He's the first car lap down. Yeah, he's going to start back there anyway.
Okay, so JRM Keffer is the first car lap down, and then Marcus in the 21 subbing in for Slade is also a lap down. So if Marcus stays out, he'll get the waiver round.
And it looks like he pitted. And we got a new leader right now in BC Racer. At 42, DWH, he's used to being up there. 47, a Rowdy, he's sticking with him. Nah. That 21's sticking with him though. Good guy to have on your side.
As long as he has a sniff of the draft, he should be fine.
Yeah.
And at this point of the race with, let's see, there is 6 laps remaining. You're wanting to position yourself for that final run. Who do you trust the most to go with if you're on the bottom line? If you're on the outside line, you're trying to campaign to get people to come up there with you and push. You're going to be seeing a lot of hustling and bustling and moving around and shuffling. You're going to see a lot of this stuff, and don't be surprised if we get one more caution because of it.
Yeah, man, these guys all want to get to that top line, or that top spot, and you're right, it's coming close to it. Looks like they're going to be coming to 5 to go. They're starting to get single file, but I definitely expect them to get double file soon because guys are going to want to make moves. BC Racers showing a lead late on in the race, and any NASCAR fan knows that you don't need to lead all the laps. You just got to lead that last one.
And for BC Racer, he is looking for that 17 more than anything, his teammate Fluffy.
Yeah, man, and that Fluffy's not too far back. He's in 4th. Fluffy's looking up high a little bit, but JRM, that 88, gives him enough room.
Now,
Or I'm sorry, the 19 gives him room.
Now earlier, the 88 and 19 were drafting very well together, going on the outside of people. So don't be surprised if they pull that out again.
You know, as you said that,
to the bottom.
As you said that, I thought that's what was going to happen. Because the 19 went up the track, 88 went to follow, 19 came down, 88 came down, and then they got into the back of the 17. That's not good for Fluffy, especially being by himself like that.
That's unfortunate for Fluff.
And I think 21 of Marcus may have fallen out of the race. I don't like to see that. But back to the front, that 6 of BC Racer, he's holding on with that 47, getting a nice push from that 12. Yeah, Big Destroyers, he's always there too. The 2 is trying to look up. That 19 really wants to make some moves. He's been really itching to get up there as of late. JRM got pushed to the back of the pack, but he's trying to make moves with the 2 car. 2 car AJ Storm. It's gonna be tough. These guys are gonna have to find an outside line. Looks like, was that the 42 that scraped the outside wall? I think it was.
Yes, it was. That's unfortunate.
That is, because it looks like
Now,
we'll
I
be
can tell
coming
you
to
from what
2
I'm
to
seeing
go.
here, the 2 is experiencing some lag up top, so that's probably why he's shuffled out of the draft.
Oh man, that's unfortunate.
And look at Bags. He took advantage of all that situation while he was in the middle of the storm, and he has pushed himself up to second place. And we are coming to the white flag, I believe,
I
in
believe
2 laps.
2 laps. Yeah, it should be 2 to go this time by.
Yep.
2 to go. 2 to go. Everyone watching, you guys, hope you enjoyed this exciting race. A lot of lead changes, and the most latest is the one that's here right now. He hasn't been up front all race. All right. What do you think of that gap between first and second? Is that good or not?
He's setting up the run. He's campaigning for Rowdy if he's in the same chat party. You're going to see a lot of these guys. Look at the gap now increasing. They are setting up a huge run.
I'd hate to be that 6 car.
There's nothing he can do but block.
I would hate to be that 6 car right now as they're routing off of turn 4, coming to 1 to go. Everyone's pretty much single file.
There's nothing you can do up in front like this. There's nothing you can do. You got to keep your momentum up. You let off any, it completely kills your run.
Completely. They're not even getting that big of a run yet on that 6.
They're waiting for the backstretch. Let's see if they start pushing on each other. Rowdy is a heck of a driver. Yeah, there he goes. They just locked bumpers. Here they come.
And that 6's motor started bogging out a bit as these guys are coming up. What's that 18 going to do? 18 stay on the inside.
The 18's up there with him, yeah. Big D coming down to push his 4 teammate. Now watch these guys from 6 on back come shooting up the middle.
Oh, that 10 car.
Oh, this is going to be wild. There's more cars up top. They're a little tighter.
As we take a look up above, that 12,
wow.
That 6 wants to hold that inside line. That 12 could get in there. 6 of BC Racer kid.
Racer.
Wonderful job. Wonderful job by the 6 of BC Racer. That 12 and 47, second and third. Man, that was an exciting race.
Man, I'm watching the last little bit here on Keffer's live stream, and man, there was a lot of pushing going on.
Jeez. Man, that was...
Well done, boys.
Yeah, well done, all these drivers. There wasn't much time to just relax throughout that whole race, huh?
Oh, boy. Unless you got shuffled out of the draft, there was no chill.
None. Yeah, Hyper actually said something in the stream here saying, did BC really just sweep the super speedways? Did he? Dang, man, that's pretty good.
So we got BC Racer first.
Yeah. All right, let's see if we can get these guys in here. Alright, invited BC. Let's see if we can get Big Destroyer here. And let's see if we can get Rowdy as well. Yeah. And here we got the winner, BC Racer Kid. Hey man, way to show up at the end of the race. Congrats. I heard that you swept the Super Speedway races for Midnight Broadcasting Network. How do you feel with that win?
Wow, I thought I was screwed. Matt's backed up with the whole pack. If it wasn't for Big D staying down and pushing me, I wouldn't have won that race. No way.
Yeah,
Man,
we
you
noticed that,
had.
man. We saw the big runs coming
Oh,
with
That's what I was gonna say.
the guys behind you. We saw the huge gap, and we were like, man, the six is just a sitting duck, man. What
oh,
went through
I
your
thought I
mind for
was
that?
too. I thought about putting the block on Bags, but I knew that was going to be a for sure wreck. So I just stayed right down on that yellow line. Oh, man. But even then, that last caution, that really sucked. Because I saved 4 laps at that point. I was good to go. And I imagine Bags was too. Well, voltage now, but then that
Really,
caution came out.
you were able to do that? That's impressive as heck, man.
That
And
is
still
impressive.
pull out with that. Cause when we saw you up front and there's like 4 cars between you and that pack of cars, I thought it was done for you.
Oh, yeah. That's it. I knew my move if I was going to win that race was to stay out on that caution. When I seen everybody else was pitting, even with the old tires, I stayed out.
Now, I was about to ask that. Was there a lot of tire strategy going into that throughout the lobby?
Yeah, like I noticed mine pushing a little bit more when I'm getting a shove in the middle of the corner, and then coming off it would dance a little bit. But you just have to be careful and be on your toes a little more. Like my left sides were around 85 when I stayed out there that last caution, and my right front was probably low 70s. So probably by the end it was in the 60s somewhere.
Oh, you did a dang good job holding on to it, brother. Heck of a win.
Yeah, thank you. I owe all that to everybody else in the Ford camp. Just Big D was a big part of that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
He was
Glad he
all
was
that.
able to make the race too.
Oh yeah, well you're telling me. I'm glad he was able to too.
Man, yeah, I gotta say, what you said about the Ford camp, we saw at one point the entire outside line was Fords, and I can definitely agree with what you're saying there, man. You guys worked really well together. He did a good job pushing you. Excellent win, man.
Well, thank you guys. I was surprised earlier in that race. I almost got the lead from Fluffy on the outside. That setup I got there seems like it's a pretty good one.
I'll say that. You got a
Yeah,
good one.
yeah, that's a very good setup. A lot of these guys, great setups. A lot of good racing from everyone. You all worked really well together. There wasn't many calls. What was there, like 3 or 4? But
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was a good. I figured
very,
right
very
there that
clean.
last caution it was going to be a wreck fest, but it wasn't. There was a couple of wrecks where there should have been a caution, but it cost a lot of good rides. But
yeah, man, I don't know. Yeah, that was just a really good job of how you did that. Unfortunately, we can't get Big D, that 12 car, finishing second in here. No mic right now, but dang, did he do a good job for running without a mic. So congrats to him on that second place finish. 47, Rowdy, I sent him an invite. I haven't heard from him yet, but hey man, I hope you enjoy your night. BC Racer, another really awesome run by you. Really fun getting to watch you guys drive.
alrighty, man. Thank you. I'm going to step out here. Have a good night, guys.
All right, you
All
too.
right, brother.
Thanks. So, Justin, I think that kind of went the way that we thought, right? We said early on
Mm-hmm.
these guys run well together. They're going to be smooth, and they were. We saw a lot of lead
Yeah,
changes, and
and you
that was fun.
saw like manufacturers working together there, and he tipped it off there in his interview there. The Ford camp was focused on working together, it seems, at times throughout the race, and it paid off for him with a victory.
Yeah, it definitely did. And unfortunately, the 47 hasn't joined yet, but I think he did a great job, man, getting that third place finish. It was unfortunate to see the 42 fall back. It really cards don't play the way you want them to sometimes. He was that one guy that was able to pass on the outside, but he didn't have that best of a finish, that great of a finish because of other circumstances in the race, which is unfortunate, but it happens. Super speedways. So that's too bad, but for Midnight Broadcasting Network and myself, Justin, thank you, man, for joining me here. I
Yeah, not a
appreciate
problem, brother.
it. You got anything else to add for tonight's race?
I do want to thank our sponsors with Pocono Raceway for putting on the sponsorship for the Cup Series. It is greatly appreciated. We know you guys do tune into us on the YouTube channel and are very active with us on Twitter, so it doesn't go unappreciated, and we thank you. Um, Also to Running Imports for the Truck Series and Speedway Collective running our Xfinity Series, I believe it is now. Uh, so shout out to all those guys. But taken away from this race, you're able to see these guys work together, communicate well, very, very little cautions. And what was cautions mainly were racing incidents. It's a plate track. You're trying to bump draft. You're trying to side draft. There's variables there that happens, and cautions do happen because of it. However, these guys were able to pull off a very low caution race and kept it green the majority of the time, and they put on a whale of a show for us.
Man, I couldn't have put it any better myself, Justin. You're right. These guys really did, and they know when to give, when to take. It's kind of like they choreographed the whole thing. These guys are class of the field, man. And you know, I guess we can end it on that because you put it so well. There's nothing else to say, man. But thank you again. I appreciate it, Justin. I had a great time commentating with you. Thank you to all the drivers participating in Midnight Broadcasting Network. I can't wait to get on the track now. So I'll see you all there, and we'll see you next time.
And congrats again to our winner, BC Racer Kid.